My brothers and sisters, Pope Pius XII was our Pope between 1939 and 1958 when he died. He was replaced by Pope John XXIII. One habit they both had was that in the afternoons, late in the afternoon, they'd be driven up to the top of the Vatican Gardens and go for a walk. Pope Pius XII did it at that time, and all the gardeners had to go and hide somewhere so they couldn't see the Pope walking around. Pope John XXIII said, "Look, I'm an ordinary human being. These people should be able to see me and talk to me if I come across them." Well, the Vatican Gardens have become a really significant place of late because of the use that have been made of them by Pope Francis. A couple of Sundays ago, Pope Francis actually had a prayer meeting in the Vatican Gardens, just up behind St. Peter's Basilica, where he invited the leader of Israel and the leader of the Palestinian Authority to join with him to pray for peace. And, as well as that, the Greek Orthodox Patriarch Bartholomew of Constantinople asked if he could come too. So there's this incredible scene at the back of St. Peter's Basilica of our Holy Father with the Patriarch of Constantinople and the leader of Israel and the leader of Palestinian Authority praying together for peace in the Holy Land. And part of that experience was that at one stage the leader of Israel and the leader of Palestinian Authority actually embraced each other. So these are actions of huge power of the Holy Spirit in our midst. The fact that the Pope could attract these two leaders to come to pray for this, and that would also attract the leader of the Greek Orthodox Church to come too, is absolutely extraordinary. And we need to realise that in our time, in our church, in our world, the Holy Spirit is really active and having a big effect. So our responsibility is, at our level, to cooperate with the Holy Spirit and do what we can in order to promote world peace. You know, the Pope can do it at his level because of the office that he holds, but he's really operating out of the same gifts of the Holy Spirit that you and I have been given at our confirmation. We have the power of the Holy Spirit to be peacemakers too in the name of Christ. And all we do, just in the ordinary circumstance of our lives and the relationships that make up our daily life, to love, to care, to forgive, all of these actions are the work of the Lord, and all of them contribute to the reality of peace in the world. So while we see the grand and wonderful things that Pope Francis can do, and we can be energised by that, we also have to be aware that the same power of the Holy Spirit operates in our lives too. The second point I want to make is that the Holy Father and the Patriarch met in Jerusalem recently, and as well as talking about world peace, they also talked about earth care, about ecology, and about the fact that care for our earth and for our environment is really an integral part of the way that we have to live out our faith. And they're right. We must take care of this earth that surrounds us, and we have to look at the ways that we can live here in such a way that it is harmonious with the nature, the pattern of natural life and of being that God has surrounded us in the world. In the Catholic Church in Australia, there's an element of the church that belongs to the Bishops' Conference called Catholic Earth Care, and it's about raising issues concerning the care of the earth, about economic and environmental issues and so on. And one of the projects that Catholic Earth Care has been involved in over some time, with federal government aid that they are able to attract, this program is called the National Energy Efficiency Network. And the idea is that in all sorts of simple ways in our communities that we look at being more and more efficient in the way that we use energy, which of course has the other side issue of reducing the costs that we face in using the energy which is available to us. So that has been launched in Australia now, and we are making attempts to engage with all of our parishes and our communities to ensure that this network has a great life and has plenty of opportunity to influence all our lives and maybe cut down our bills a bit. I grew up in an efficiency network for energy, in that in my father's house there was a rule that every time you left a room you turned the lights out, and if you didn't he'd follow you through. He would ask questions about why you'd have the radio and the record player playing at the same time. So I'm very much aware of the fact that by turning things off you can actually be very efficient. But what we're looking at through this network is to really look at creative and wonderful ways as a community and as individuals that we can really care for our earth by the way that we use our energy. So Pope Francis, Patriarch Bartholomew have been showing great leadership to us in world peace and in terms of earth care. We need to understand that we have to be their partners in that work as we live in the world today. Of course, more importantly, we need to understand that we need to be the partners of Jesus through the power of the Holy Spirit that we've been given. All the little things that we do make a big contribution to the good of all.